A Ford engineer called it a mechanical catastrophe. GM got hit with a $100 million verdict over engine failures, and one Star Trek actor died because his Jeep couldn't figure out what gear it was in. These are 12 car features that automakers swore would make your life easier, but they're actually destroying your car from the inside out, and some of them might be sitting in your driveway right now. Let's get into it. Feature number 12. Cylinder deactivation. On paper, cylinder deactivation sounds brilliant. Your engine shuts down half its cylinders while cruising to save gas. GM calls it active fuel management. Honda calls it VCM. Chrysler calls it MDS. I call it an engine killer. Here's what actually happens. Your V8 is humming along. Then suddenly 4 cylinders go dark. Then they fire back up. Then they shut down again. Over and over, thousands of times. All that on and off cycling causes uneven wear inside your engine. Lifters fail. Valves collapse. And then your engine seizes. GM just got hit with a verdict of over $100 million because of this. The NHTSA is investigating nearly 900,000 vehicles with their 5.3 and 6.2-liter V8s. We're talking Silverados, Sierras, Tahoes, Suburbans, Yukons, Escalades. Failures are showing up between 60,000 and 90,000 miles, sometimes as early as 30,000. Honda ran into similar problems and settled a class action covering 2008 to 2013 Accords, Odysseys, and Pilots, where owners were burning through a quart of oil every 1,000 to 1,500 miles, which forced Honda to extend warranties to 8 years with no mileage limit. A couple bucks a month is all you might save with cylinder deactivation, but one lifter failure and you're staring at a 5-figure repair bill, and that math works out great for the automaker, but terrible for you. Feature number 11. Dual clutch transmissions. This was designed for racetracks. Quick shifts, no clutch pedal, lightning fast gear changes. It works great in a Ferrari or a Porsche, but putting one in your daily driver creates a completely different story. Ford's power shift transmission in the Focus and Fiesta became one of the biggest automotive disasters in recent history. Internal documents from Ford show their own engineers knew it was a problem before it even went into production. One Ford engineer called the dry clutch design a mechanical catastrophe that should have been killed. But Ford sold them anyway. Nearly 2 million owners got stuck with cars that shuddered, slipped, hesitated in traffic, and randomly dropped into neutral. There are over 4,300 complaints with NHTSA just for the transmission. The class action settlement guaranteed at least $77.4 million to affected owners of 2011 to 2016 Fiestas and 2012 to 2016 Focus models. Ford also got slapped with a $10 million fine in Australia for what they called unconscionable conduct. When a dual clutch fails, you're not just replacing a clutch. You're dealing with mechatronics, sensors, and software. And Hyundai and Kia owners are reporting similar problems with their DCTs, stalling, overheating, software bugs. If your car has one of these and it starts acting up, don't ignore it. Feature number 10. CVT transmissions. If you think dual clutch transmissions are bad, let me introduce you to the continuously variable transmission, specifically Nissan CVT. Nissan just settled a class action for $277.7 million. That's the largest CVT settlement in automotive history. Affected models include the Altima, Sentra, Rogue, Murano, Pathfinder, Maxima, Versa, and Juke. The Altima alone has over 4,800 complaints and earned what Car Complaints calls their avoid like the plague badge. 53,000 miles is the average failure point on the 2013 Altima, which barely counts as broken in for most vehicles. Replacement costs run $3,000 to $6,000 on average. And these things don't give you much warning. One day you're driving fine, next day you're calling a tow truck. Subaru had similar issues. In 2017, they extended CVT warranties on 1.5 million vehicles to 10 years or 100,000 miles after multiple class actions. Consumer Reports data shows about 20% of Subaru owners report transmission issues within 100,000 miles. CVTs are everywhere now. They're in Hondas, Toyotas, Mitsubishis, and more. Some are better than others. But if you're buying used and it has a CVT, do your homework on that specific model. Because a CVT failure is not a cheap fix. Feature number 9, electronic gear shifters. Remember when a gear shifter actually moved? You pushed it into park, felt it click, and knew your car wasn't going anywhere. Those days are gone. Now we've got buttons, knobs, and rotary dials. Looks sleek on the brochure. But Fiat Chrysler had to recall over 800,000 vehicles after their electronic shifters caused 266 crashes and 68 injuries. Drivers thought their car was in park, but it wasn't. The car would just roll away. The NHTSA specifically said the design appears to violate several basic design guidelines for vehicle controls. It was confusing, inconsistent, and dangerous. Anton Yelchin's story makes this real because a Star Trek actor was just 27 years old when his 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee rolled down his driveway and pinned him against a brick pillar, killing him from blunt traumatic asphyxia. The recall for that shifter had been issued 2 months before his death, and reports indicate he received his recall notice after he was already gone. Mechanical linkage doesn't exist in these systems anymore because everything runs through sensors, modules, and software. A weak battery can leave you stuck, a software glitch can leave you stuck, and unlike a traditional shifter, you can't just jiggle it into gear when something goes wrong. Feature number 8, Hyundai and Kia Theta 2 engines. This one isn't really a feature. It's a manufacturing defect, but it affects so many cars that you need to know about it. Hyundai and Kia's Theta 2 GDI engines contained metal debris left over from crankshaft machining, and that debris restricted oil flow to the bearings, which led to engine seizure, and in over 220 reported cases, fires breaking out while people were driving. The class action settlement hit $1.3 billion. That's the largest engine-related settlement in automotive history. Originally covering 3.9 million vehicles, it expanded to over 6 million with a second settlement in April 2024. The NHTSA hit Hyundai and Kia with a $210 million civil penalty. Hyundai paid $140 million. Kia paid $70 million. That broke NHTSA's civil penalty record. Affected vehicles got a lifetime warranty on the engine short block or 15 years and 150,000 miles, plus a free knock sensor detection software update. If you own a Hyundai or Kia from roughly 2011 to 2019, check if your vehicle is covered. This is serious. Engine seizing on the highway is not something you want to experience firsthand. Feature number 7, touchscreen-only controls. Here's a simple question. When your windshield is fogging up at 70 miles per hour, do you want to poke at a touchscreen menu, or do you want to reach down and twist a knob? The AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety found that taking your eyes off the road for just 2 seconds doubles your crash risk. Drivers using touchscreens were distracted for over 40 seconds programming navigation. At 25 miles per hour, that's 4 football fields of distance traveled while you're staring at a screen. A UK study found touchscreen use caused 57% delayed reaction time compared to normal driving. For context, being at the legal blood alcohol limit causes 12% delay. Texting causes 35%. Touchscreens are worse than texting. Drivers took their eyes off the road for up to 16 seconds using touchscreens. At 70 miles per hour, that's over 500 meters traveled completely blind. This is so bad that Euro NCAP announced that starting in 2026, cars cannot achieve a 5-star safety rating without physical controls for turn signals, hazard lights, horn, wipers, and the emergency SOS button. And automakers are finally listening. Volkswagen's design chief declaring they will never, ever make this mistake anymore. It's a car. It's not a phone. Mazda, Hyundai, Porsche, and Mercedes are all bringing back physical buttons. Feature number 6, ADAS driver assist systems. Lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, and automatic emergency braking were supposed to make driving safer. But according to the data, that's not exactly how it's playing out. J.D. Power's 2024 study surveyed over 99,000 owners of brand new vehicles and found ADAS accounts for 12.8% of all new vehicle problems, averaging nearly 25 problems per 100 vehicles. Owners complained most about alerts being annoying and bothersome. The IIHS tested 14 partial automation systems in March 2024. Only one earned an acceptable rating. That was Lexus. 11 systems got rated poor, including Tesla Autopilot, Tesla Full Self-Driving, Ford Blue Cruise, and Volvo Pilot Assist. IIHS President David Harkey said there is little evidence that partial automation makes driving safer. In fact, it can introduce new risks. NHTSA data from the first 10 months of required reporting showed 392 crashes involving Level 2 ADAS-equipped vehicles. Tesla accounted for 273 of them. There were 6 fatalities and 5 serious injuries. And when these systems break, replacing a front radar sensor costs $500 to $2,000. Camera replacement with calibration runs $690 to $2,200. AAA found that ADAS can add up to 37.6% to total collision repair costs. These systems might help prevent some accidents, but they also create new distractions, new repair costs, and new risks when drivers trust them too much. Feature number 5, start-stop systems. Your engine shuts off at every red light and fires back up when you lift your foot off the brake, which sounds efficient until the engine decides not to restart. NHTSA just opened an investigation into 2.2 million Honda and Acura vehicles because the engines aren't restarting. We're talking 2016 to 2019 Pilots, 2015 to 2020 TLXs, 2016 to 2020 MDXs, and more. Over 221 complaints filed. Owners are getting stranded at intersections, narrowly avoiding getting rear-ended. One owner said they narrowly avoided being hit multiple times from suddenly not being able to move. And here's the economics. Start-stop systems require special AGM batteries that cost $200 to $400, roughly double the price of a standard battery. The system adds about $275 to the car's price. EPA estimates fuel savings of 3 to 10%, which for most people works out to maybe a tank or 2 of gas per year. Half of drivers disable the feature anyway. That's according to EPA estimates. You're paying more upfront, paying more for batteries, and getting marginal savings that most people never see because they turn the system off. This wasn't designed to help you. It was designed to help automakers pass emissions tests. Feature number 4, electronic parking brakes. Remember the good old parking brake lever? You pulled it, felt a click, and knew it worked. Now, it's a little button. Electronic parking brakes use tiny motors inside your rear calipers. They talk to your car's computer and decide when to clamp or release. When it works, it's fine. When it doesn't, you're trapped. Ford recalled over 870,000 F-150s from 2021 to 2023 because the electronic parking brake wiring was deteriorating and causing unintended activation while driving. There were 918 warranty claims and 299 reports of it engaging when it shouldn't. Here's another problem most people don't realize. To change your brake pads on a car with electronic parking brakes, you need a special scan tool to put the calipers into service mode. Try to force the pistons back manually and you can destroy the actuator motors. What used to be a $50 DIY job now often requires a trip to the dealer. Feature number 3, electric power steering. Electric power steering replaced hydraulic systems in most new cars. It's lighter, more efficient, and eliminates power steering fluid. But when it fails, you lose all steering assist instantly. Tesla just recalled over 376,000 Model 3 and Model Y vehicles from 2023 over power steering failures, with NHTSA documenting 2,388 complaints of power steering loss and over 3,000 warranty claims. The problem traced back to overvoltage breakdown damaging components on the circuit board. Honda recalled 1.7 million vehicles in October 2024 for sticky steering. That includes 2022 to 2024 Civics, CR Versus, HR Versus, and Acura Integras. There were over 145 NHTSA complaints and more than 10,000 warranty claims. A class action lawsuit is proceeding into 2026. Ram 1500 trucks are also facing a class action, claiming widespread electric power steering failures. NHTSA opened an investigation in August 2023 after nearly 400 consumer reports on 2013 to 2016 models. Rack replacement on a Ram can run $3,000 to $4,000. Hydraulic power steering at least warned you when something was failing through whining, stiffness, or visible leaks. But electric systems can simply stop working without any warning at all, leaving you muscling a 4,000-pound vehicle through a turn with zero assist. Feature number 2, over-the-air updates. Your car now updates itself like a smartphone. No dealer visit, no cables, just Wi-Fi and a progress bar. Convenient until something goes wrong. In December 2024, a Tesla software update bricked multiple Cybertrucks. Completely unresponsive. Tesla's own service note said the firmware got hammered for an unknown reason midway through install, and the partial update disabled vehicle. Some owners couldn't even disconnect their charging cables. Vehicles had to be towed to service centers. Remember BMW's heated seat subscription? They installed the hardware in every car, but locked it behind software. You had to pay $18 a month or $415 for unlimited access to use heated seats that were already in your car. After massive backlash, BMW abandoned the program. A BMW board member admitted, "People feel that they paid double," which was actually not true, but perception is reality. When your car updates itself, you're trusting the manufacturer to get it right. And when they don't, you might be stranded with a very expensive paperweight that needs a tow truck and a service appointment. Feature number 1, timing chain tensioner failures. Old timing belts needed replacement every 60,000 to 100,000 miles, but timing chains were supposed to last the life of the engine as a maintenance-free, set-it-and-forget-it solution. Except Volkswagen and Audi's 2.0T engines had timing chain tensioners that failed without warning. The tensioner would give out, the chain would stretch and skip, and the valves would collide with the pistons. Catastrophic engine failure. Volkswagen settled a class action covering 2008 to 2014 models with the 2.0L TSI and TFSI engines. That includes the Jetta, GTI, Passat, CC, Tiguan, and Audi A3, A4, and TT. The settlement extended the warranty to 10 years or 100,000 miles for timing chain and tensioner issues. Timing chain and tensioner repair typically runs $3,000 to $5,200. Engine replacement is $6,000 to $9,000. The scary part? There's often no warning. The engine just quits. If you have one of these vehicles, check if you're covered by the settlement and budget for an inspection. A timing chain failure isn't something you can limp home from. Look, I'm not saying modern cars are worse than old cars. They're safer, faster, and more efficient in a lot of ways. But every one of these features adds complexity. And complexity means more things that can break, more specialized repairs, and bigger bills when something goes wrong. The automakers aren't paying those repair bills. You are. If you own a car with any of these features, don't panic. Just pay attention. Listen for weird noises. Watch for warning lights. And if something feels off, get it checked before it becomes a catastrophe. If this video helped you, hit subscribe. Share it with someone who needs to hear this before their car leaves them stranded. Before you go, I need you to do one thing. Go check your car's window sticker or look up your model online and find out how many of these 12 features you're actually driving around with. Then come back and drop that number in the comments. I'm betting most of you are sitting at 5 or higher, and some of you are going to be shocked. Thanks for watching.